4th of September. We will show you testimonies, music, events, and a whole lot more. In today's episode of Mother and Me, we have for you the testimony of Sister Marissa. It was Mother Teresa who helped Sister Marissa through her early days when she was unsure of her calling. Sister Marissa has helped a lot of people with her education. Also, in Songs in Blue Stripes, we have a very young and talented girl from the USA named Zoya Sood, who plays a beautiful tribute to Mother. Mother Teresa and all the things leading up to her canonization in Rome on the 4th of September. We will show you testimonies, music, events, and a whole lot more. In today's episode of Mother and Me, we have for you the testimony of Sister Marissa. It was Mother Teresa who helped Sister Marissa through her early days when she was unsure of her calling. Sister Marissa has helped a lot of people with her education. Also, in Songs in Blue Stripes, we have a very young and talented girl from the USA named Zoya Sood, who plays a beautiful tribute to Mother.
So this morning we have with us Sister Marissa, who actually needs no introduction. She does a lot and she's one of the most leading educationalists in Calcutta who deals and works specially towards the Anglo-Indian community. So sister, our first question to you would be, where did you first meet Mother?
Before I start, thank you for the introduction. I met Mother in Bangalore and I was doing my theology in Bangalore in Sudeep Institute. I met Mother then. I used to go and see her place where she had the destitutes. So that's how I met Mother for the first time.
So sister, you were a Carmel nun before and now you're doing something totally different. So how was that experience?
This experience, there's a long history related to getting into this experience. But this experience is a very fulfilling experience because as a Carmel sister, I worked with students who were pretty on the well-off side. School was very normal and all that. I started work with a very informal kind of a situation where my students were dropouts. They were of different ages, different stages. They were youngsters as young as 15-year-olds and oldsters as old as 40 years old. Mothers and sons sat together. Okay, husbands and wives sat together So it was a mixed experience where we had all kinds of ages and stages, educationally, chronologically, in every respect. But what I liked very much was the fulfillment it gave me. I was answering a call, and that call was to educate the school dropouts of Calcutta. Because it was in 1972 that I discovered, when I was studying in Loreto House, that I discovered there were many students who were wasting their lives, and they moved along Ripon Street, Park Street. And that's how I met them, and I made up my mind that when I become a teacher, I'll make sure that I won't let anyone leave school in a hurry. I will make sure that education was given to students. And that is why I found leaving Carmel and joining and taking up this challenge was something that was very close to my heart as an educator.
So we've known that you've been very close with Mother. So how has she impacted your decisions in life?
Mother, whenever I went to Mother House, somehow both of us were attracted to each other, because I never went to see Mother, and Mother never knew I was coming. But somehow or the other we met. I still remember, I won't talk of the kitchen part of it here. Mother, we met, okay? So the first time I met Mother was in 1985 when I had gone to the chapel to pray. And I was enjoying the atmosphere of prayer in that little room after so many, say 2 weeks at least of no prayer. And then Mother waited for me outside the chapel, and she asked me what I was doing and where I was staying. And then I told Mother about that. And then Mother insisted that I shouldn't be staying with the family. I should go to Premdan and stay with the sisters there, because she would give me a room. I would get the chapel close by, and I would be more like, close to the sisters. She didn't want me to be out of the convent as such. Okay, so that was one association I had. Then, of course, Mother made sure that I had breakfast every day in the chapel, next to the chapel room. And after that, I moved to Ripon Street. Once I moved to Ripon Street, then I was not in touch with Mother as such, because I was fully occupied with my school project. Of course, Mother she did supply milk and biscuits for my students, the daycare center students. So that's where I get in touch with Mother. Okay. Then it was only in 1989, my Carmel sisters were working with me. Then they pulled out of the project. And then I was really shattered at that point of time, because I couldn't leave Carmel for anything in the world. And I used to talk to Mother about it. And then I remember when I had to make a break, when Carmel was telling me, Marisa, you can come back. Okay, my friends in Calcutta said, Marisa, why don't you go back? How long are you going to stay alone? How long are you going to work on your own? It's not worth it. Okay, so you've done enough. Okay, why don't you go back? And that's the time I felt that I had to answer a call that was eating me up. I just couldn't listen to what people were saying and do what people wanted me to do. I had to just do what the Lord was asking me to do. And as a young 17-year-old, when I left home, I had the whole world on a platter at that time. When I left home against everyone's wishes, okay, I had the courage now to go into the convent, to become a sister. It was a very, very hard decision I took as a youngster. Now, the second time God is asking me to take such a decision. So because I experienced God's love, His strength, I knew what a life of faith was for me. So making this act of faith now, second time, was not so difficult. So when I spoke to Mother about my decision now to Carmel wanted me back, whether I should go back. And that's the time Mother said no. She said this Anglo-Indian community is a very difficult community to handle, she says. Not everyone can handle them. And Mother caught me by my hand. She caught my hands and said, don't leave them, don't leave them. And then I said, Mother, what happens to my vocation, Mother? Because if Carmel wants me back, I want to go back to Carmel. What happens to my vocation? I don't want to give up my calling, my vocation in Carmel. Then Mother said, see, nobody can take Carmel away from your heart. Carmel is with you. You carry on living your life the way you would live in Carmel. You're outside the walls, that's all. Otherwise, you keep your sari, keep your name, keep everything, she says, and you work with these people. And then suddenly I felt, since Mother gave me that assurance which I was so scared to take on my own, and Mother knew, and Mother said also everything will be okay. Okay, so immediately I said, thank you, Mother, got her hand tight, And I said goodbye to Mother, and I drove all the way to Park Street. I went straight to Bishop Henry. Bishop Henry was surprised because he confined me in bed for 2 weeks. And then he sees me all bright and beautiful there in front of him. He said, what are you doing here? I said, Your Grace, I want to talk to you. I said, then he said, come sit down, you have some coffee? I said, sure. I said, I need some coffee. I said, okay, then we had coffee. And then I told Bishop Henry that I just gone to Mother, and this is what I agreed. I decided that I'm going to leave Carmel for good. Okay, and Mother said, fine, and Bishop said, oh, it's all right also. Then I told Bishop, what about joining any secular congregation? Bishop said, you don't need anything of that sort. You keep your name, you keep your dress, you keep everything, and you carry on this way. So Bishop also gave me that, okay. And then Bishop told me, you make your, you attend Mass with the priest, and you make your consecration, or you make your vows to a priest. Okay, so that was done, and so I still kept my vows. You understand? So I never stayed away from my vows at all. And that's how Mother now was, she influenced me to take this decision. Okay, so with that I carried on. Yeah.
Sister, you fought cancer a few years back, and
Yes.
you said that Mother, some way, she gave you that push and that motivation that you could go through it. So could you tell us a little about
Yes. Now this cancer, for 1 year, I kept it a top secret. I believed that Our Lady's novena to Our Lady of Melancholy would cure me in 2010 it was. Okay, 5th September, I noticed it, and I prayed hard in my little chapel for healing. Okay, in 1 year's time, that thing became about 3.5, 4 inch long, that lump. Okay, so one day I sat in the chapel and I prayed and I said, Jesus, tell me what to do and all that. Anyway, I don't want to make that a long story. Okay, but I had to go to Dr. Tapti at Apollo, and she fired me. And doctor said, you're an educated woman. You waited for so long for that cancer to become so big. Do you know what it could have affected your inside organs? Okay, do you know? And I was cool as a cucumber, because for me, I believe that the Lord is stronger than these doctors and all that. So I said, doctor, and we can handle whatever it is, doctor. Then she said, okay, you have this test. She gave me a whole lot of tests to have, and she gave me the impression that I was really on the last stages of cancer. And the teacher sitting beside me also felt very sorry for me, and literally she told my teachers, Sister Marisa is over, her life is over. Anyway, so on the 23rd of September now, that was 5th of September, I went to Apollo. 23rd of September, I had my major operation. Okay, and then my sisters in Carmel, as soon as they knew that I was sick, they came to Apollo, they took me away from there, kept me in Carmel, in the infirmary, and looked after me. Now, Sister Sipsa was my infirmarian, okay, so naturally, she would bring me tea and all that, and I was making a novena to Blessed Mother Teresa at that time. Okay, then on the 5th of October, I remember I was fast asleep, and Sister Sipsa woke me up. And then at that time, I had this nice experience of Mother sitting beside my bed and telling me, you'll get a very good report. Okay, I didn't get my biopsy report at that time. You'll get a very good report. And when Sister Sipsa shook me, immediately I said, Sister, Mother was sitting beside me, and Mother told me, Sister Marisa, you'll get a good report. So come and have your tea, she said. She didn't pay attention to that. Come and have your tea. Anyway, I got up, I sat at the table and I had my tea. Okay, now 2 days later, I got my report, and I read through the report, and I couldn't make sense out of the terms that was in the report, okay? So I was marking time. So on the 7th of October, I went to Dr. Tapti with my report, and she sat looking at it, and with her pen she marked plus, minus, and my heart was going like this. I said, oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm supposed to be going to die. Okay, what this report is, I don't know. I was mortally scared. Then doctor's looking to me this way. She says, you got a good report. I said, Sipsa. Okay. Then she's looking at me, what happened? So I said, doctor, the same thing Mother told me, you get a good report. Oh, you're very spiritual, she said, Dr. Tapti. Thank you, doctor, I said. Okay, that was over. Then when I went back to Carmel, I told sister, I had my 6 chemos. Okay, no reactions. I managed everything very smoothly. I was not a patient like other cancer patients go through so much of hell. For me, somehow or the other, it was just, I was waiting for the time to get over for me to come out of this cancer. And I remember telling Sister Superior, Sister Mirabel, I said, Sister, my cancer is healed with Mother Teresa's intervention. I'm going to tell the sisters that Sister Marisa has been healed because of Mother. So you please make her a saint because of Sister Marisa's healing. Keep quiet, Marisa, she said. Cancer is not a big deal nowadays. You can get a relapse. I said, what rubbish, I won't get a relapse. I said, no, sister, I'm healed. I said, okay. And so it was not a big issue for her. Then after about 6 months, I went to Dr. Tapti with mine to get checked up again and all that. So when she saw the report, not 6 months, 3 months, okay? Chest was okay, the USG was okay, whatever reports, whatever tests she gave me, okay. Now this September will make 5 years, and all my reports have been absolutely cleared. The cancer has just disappeared. 4 months and only 4 months to the day. And I attribute this definitely to Mother's intervention, because when I was in bed and I would tell Mother, if you hadn't told me to stay back with the Anglo-Indians, I would have been staying with the sisters in the convent. Okay, so in other words, I'm blaming you for asking me to leave Carmel, because everybody said, how are you going to stay alone in Picnic Garden? You understand? And the sisters wanted me to stay in Carmel, in Tollygunj. But how would I manage my work if I'm staying in Carmel? How would I manage my work in Picnic Garden? So there was that thing. But somehow, so I had to always talk to Mother in my, during those days, and tell her, Mother, please take care of me, because I'm alone. I don't have anyone now. And so in other words, you only got me out. So you understand? And I think she did.
Sister, it was wonderful knowing about your experience with Mother. I think everyone got to know a lot about it, and we got to know a lot about you too. So thank you so much for sharing your valuable time with us and giving us this opportunity to interview you. Thank you.
Thank you, Twinkle. Thank you for giving me a chance to talk about Mother. Yeah, because she was great. I'm very happy I've had this chance to speak about her. Thank you.